Hey, Jeff here, your YouTube reviewer of New England brews. Welcome back to NEBR, New England Beer Reviews, where I review beers and ales that originate out of New England. And here's one I've been sort of keeping in the cellar for close to a year now, and I figured I ought to bring it out now because this is White Birch 3rd Anniversary Ale. Figured I ought to bring it out now because they're just about to release their White Birch 4th Anniversary Ale in about 3 weeks from now. So I suppose I ought to check out the one they put out last year to recognize the 3rd anniversary of this small brewery in New Hampshire, which has really taken off in the 3 years that it's been around. This is an oak-aged Belgian-style quad. So it sounds like a pretty big beer. It's got an ABV of 9.7% ABV. So, White Birch out of Hooksett, New Hampshire, was one of the first of the new wave of breweries that began opening up in New Hampshire. And in the last 2 to 3 years, we have been seeing sort of an influx of microbrews and small breweries coming into the state, opening their doors and brewing some really good beers. So, I'm going to get right into this because I've been wanting to try this for a while. Well, for about a year, let's put it that way. And let's pour it into this glass here. 9.7 ABV. Ought to be pretty heavy. Okay, it's a quad. Give it a pour. Okay, now. Alright. Well, it is a nice mahogany brown color, sort of some reddish hues. A lot of carbonation. Building up to sort of a beige, off-white head that really isn't lasting terribly long. It's already fizzled down in the last 30 or so seconds. But anyway, I'm serving it around 50 degrees, which is what White Birch always recommends. So, let's check out the aroma on this baby. Quads always just smells so bold and malt forward and fruity in a way, like dark fruits, and really that's what I'm getting on this. I'm getting solid malt forward aroma, kind of a licorice almost, black licorice. I'm getting sweetness like brown sugar or dark sugars anyway, sugar in the raw or something. I'm getting that yeast, of course. White Birch uses their own strain of yeast. It's just a beautiful aroma for a beautiful looking beer. And now let's check out the taste. Wow, it drinks like a wine, the texture. Not a barley wine, a real wine. I mean, it's got this sort of thin but heavy character going on. Not thin, watery, but just sort of a light, sort of a medium character, a medium body. But it's got this sort of thinness to it, like a glass of wine. Taste-wise, it's got some malts going on, pretty decent malts in here as well. Dark fruits, maybe like fig or something akin to that. Not cherry or grape. Really, I wouldn't say grape or cherry or anything like that. More fig, perhaps, something like that. And while I didn't really notice, I'm noticing more malts up front. Got some noisy neighbors going on in the background. You probably hear them. They're playing a game across the street, looks like. I got some a malty forward aroma and a malty forward taste, but I'm not noticing much in the way of hops on the nose, but there is for certain a huge bitterness here. I don't want to call it a high or moderate bitterness. It's not a pucker up, it's like a sharp bitterness that's coming up on the rear and lingering just a little bit. Yeah, something like that. Got the barbecue grill going, so you might see a little smoke going on. It's right next to me here. But anyway, flavor-wise, the alcohol is definitely well integrated. And again, I've been letting it sit for about a year. And this is oak aged, so I am getting those that barrel effect, the wooden barrel effect and oak wooden barrel effect as well. Not so much in the aroma as I am in the taste. It's got that woody sort of character in it too. So this was bottled in July of 12. And this is June of 13, so almost a year old. It's a nice flavor. It's aged well. Of course, I didn't have it when it first came out. I bought this a year ago and put it in the cellar right away. Which, you know, in a way, it's one of these things that if you like cellaring beer, I'm not very good at that. I do cellar a lot of beers, but what you really need to do is buy 2 versions of a beer you want to cellar, or more, depending on how long you want to cellar it for. So you can have one right away, just to see what it's like in the beginning, and then so you can have one a year or 2 later after you've let it age for a while. So I didn't get to try this. I don't think I did anyway. I might have tried it at the brewery. You go to the brewery itself in Hooksett, New Hampshire. They frequently have tastings pretty much every day. They usually have 3 or 4 of their beers available that they let people sample. So I may have sampled it in a little 5-ounce glass or something like that, but probably this is the first time that I've had a full bottle, a full glass of it. But, you know, it does have you know, like a sort of a kind of biting character lingering at the end. So the quads are heavy beers, and they can be very, you know, malty, you know, heavy in the malts. And most quads I have don't have a super sharp hop bite to it, and this really doesn't, but it's a little more so than I've noticed in some quads. Of course, then again, that could come from letting it sit for a year. But I do like it. I mean, everything White Birch has put out so far, I don't think I have any complaints about. I've tried dozens and dozens of their beers. They put out, you know, at least one a month or more, sometimes a couple a month, and usually at least 10 or 12 new beers, never before tried beers a year, it seems. They're always introducing a new style or something, and they have you know, half a dozen or so regulars that they do every year, and some are getting outside of New England more and more, mainly in New England, but he is, you know, Bill Herlica is getting his beers out outside of New England more and more. I've been seeing other people review them on their YouTube pages, so I'm kind of glad to be the first one who really started doing the White Birch brews a couple of years back, and I'm glad other people are beginning to discover it, and hopefully someday White Birch brews are going to come to your neck of the woods, wherever you're watching this from, and you'll get to try some of the fine brews they put out. So, I'm going to get back to barbecuing my, it's a London broil steak I'm putting with heavy pepper and garlic spice going on. Probably not the right thing to go with a quad, I suppose, but hey, you know, that's what I feel like having for dinner. So anyway, that's it for today. This is the White Birch Brewing third anniversary ale. Thanks for stopping by. I'll catch you again next time.